So, after Man City drew 1-1 away at Newcastle earlier today, the door was left open for Liverpool to climb to the top of the table if they could win their match away against Wolves. As it were, this match turned out to be the kind where it looked like it should have been straightforward on paper when you compare the two teams' league positions. But then the actual match itself turned out to be a much closer, much more closely fought match. As a whole, Liverpool definitely did not do well today, particularly in the first half. As I was watching this, for a good chunk of the first half, Liverpool found themselves penned in their own half, just ceding possession time and time again. Wolves were on the offensive, they were doing well, they keeping Liverpool, penned back, and there was a number of times Wolves put together some good attacks, and Liverpool defense had to be alert. Alisson was forced into some saves as well, and when Liverpool did attack, the Wolves defense was also steady. They held firm. They knew when to be compact when necessary. They knew when to press when they needed to. They knew when to apply pressure when they needed to. And even right now, with the match over, the thing that stands out in my mind when I think back to that first half is watching how Liverpool seemed so ponderous when they had the ball, when they were trying to build up the attack. I think they were trying to do some passing combinations in the build-up to try and carve open the defense or something like that. But it never really went anywhere. And even the corners that Liverpool had in the first half, they kept going for this short corner routine, the pass here and then the pass there, and then one after the other, and then they try and play a cross in. But that also did not work, and it was just hugely frustrating to watch. I was sitting and watching it and just thinking, just play the cross in, try and make something happen. All this kind of fancy, sophisticated passing, it was not working. B, they were doing it too slowly and inaccurately to make it work, anyway. So then, at the end of the first half, finally a moment of decisiveness after practically an entire half of just ponderous indecision. Jota has the ball on the left, and he finally just decides he'll just go for it. He makes that half a yard for himself, just that burst of acceleration and pace, to get around the player who was marking him, trying to cover off his run. So he just makes that darting run down the left, play the cross in. Konate is there, he jumps higher, he wins the header, scores the goal, and finally it's a breakthrough just before halftime. And that is one of the funny things about football. You can have all that sophistication, you can have all those passing combinations, the left and the right, and then back a bit, and then another few more here, there, 10, 15, 20 passes. Sometimes you just need to be decisive on the ball, be willing to put a good cross in, have a player who is willing to jump up, and fight for that header, win that header, score that goal. Ultimately, if you score, you score. How you score is immaterial. What changes the scoreboard is the fact that the ball has gone into the net. And so it was. The second half initially was a bit more improved over the first. Wolves, they played themselves into trouble. They gave the ball to, they somehow managed to give the ball to Salah, and the goalkeeper was just completely out of position. I think goalkeeper was right near the edge of the box or something like that. That was a sight, but Salah managed to hit that first time shot just wide. That was a very big waste of a very big chance. And then of course 50 plus minutes, getting close to the hour. Liverpool, up to that point, even though they weren't exactly doing particularly well, they were still at least comfortable enough in possession thus far in the second half, and at least managing to keep Wolves at bay. Then Wolves managed a counter attack, and okay, I think it was some kind of a through ball. Konate had the situation covered. He managed to shield the ball, away from the striker. And then when there was a moment of decisiveness in the first half, then suddenly came, this big moment of indecision right in this critical moment in the second half. Konate, I think he was trying to shield the ball, but he didn't do a good job of it. I don't know whether he was trying to shield the ball and let it roll out for a corner, which it didn't. I don't know if he was trying to shield the ball, to let Alisson come and collect, which he didn't. What ended up happening was the striker was still trying to fight for the ball, ended up shrugging Konate out of the way, got the ball, then just complete mess in defense. The Wolves player coming in and just scoring into an empty net because Alisson himself was also taken out of the equation. And just like that, basically out of nowhere, 1-1. It was an incredibly cheap goal to give away. And especially after the way Liverpool had made such hard work of scoring their first goal in the first place, and now to give it away 1-1. Oh man, it was just more than just frustrating. It was infuriating. And on TV, you could also see Alisson was having a lot of words with Konate after initially after the goal went in. Then even as the VAR was being checked before the kickoff, a good maybe 1-2 minutes, Alisson was having a lot of words with Konate. And rightly so, because this was a very, very stupid way to give away a goal. Then as it were though, a few minutes after that was a moment where the Wolves players' physicality, I would say the physical way in which they defended, their physicality backfired, because Liverpool attacked, the cross came in, and one of the Wolves defenders had both his arms around Jota's shoulders, his neck, just completely hugging and hauling him to the ground. Penalty given, Salah took the kick, scored 1-2. Then thereafter, so at this point now, half an hour left in the match. And quite frankly, although Liverpool did have a lot of possession during the final half hour, but it just felt as though they never truly had control of where they were able to pass to or who they were able to pass to. It just felt like Wolves were the ones dictating it because of the way Wolves pressed. The way they pressed in numbers, so it forced Liverpool to play in a direction that Wolves wanted them to play too. And yes, Liverpool again, they did still have some good situations, in this half hour. Despite that, which were wasted. The one that immediately comes to mind is from the Wolves corner. Liverpool clear, then the Wolves player tries to kick it forward again. I think it bounces off Curtis Jones's face. It bounces to Salah. Salah is running down running down the right, and Jones is running down the middle. Then Salah, I would say quite uncharacteristically, plays a very early square pass to Jones, and the pass is underhit anyway, and the Wolves defender is able to regain control of the situation. Normally, I would have thought that Salah would just take the ball and just sprint all the way down that right hand side channel, where he's completely free anyway. There's no one near him. There's no one marking him. He could have taken the ball, a further 20-25 yards forward, get to the 18-yard box or so and play the square pass. So it looks like one of those situations where he didn't need to play the pass so early. So I have no idea why he did. Then the final few minutes was just agony. Watching it was agonizing. The number of times, that Wolves would give the ball away to a Liverpool player. Then the Liverpool player would immediately just give it back to them, or pass to no one in particular, giving away the possession cheaply. It was agony. It was painful. It was infuriating. Because at this point it's already getting to stoppage time, 6 minutes stoppage time, something like that. All they had to do was just be smart about how they play, be smart about where they play, and just be smart and composed in keeping possession. As it were, though, they did manage to hang on for the win, 2-1 win at the end. So here's the thing. As a whole, Liverpool did not play well today, but they did do enough just to win the match. And that's what matters. Ultimately, the league table shows how many points you have gained from victories and or draws through the season. It doesn't record down how well or how badly you played in each of those matches. Liverpool got away with it today. It can be filed under win and move on. Take the points and be happy. Which I am. Okay, probably I should say I'm more relieved than happy to get this win. As it is then, Liverpool are now top of the table on 15 points, 5 wins out of 6 at the start of the season. As far as putting it together any hopeful or potential title challenge, Liverpool do currently sit ahead of both Man City and Arsenal, last season's top 2 finishers. And that is a good position to be in. So, play well or play badly, just take the win and move on. Onwards to the next match.